or in the heart of Ethiopia, where ancient mountains touch the sky and the scent of coffee blossoms hangs in the air, lived a young girl named Zara. Zara's heart was heavy, not for herself, but for her older brother. Once her closest friend and protector, he had returned from a long journey a changed man. A storm of anger seemed to live inside him, and its thunderclaps echoed through their home. Small things would set him off, his words becoming sharp and his temper as unpredictable as a sudden desert wind. Zara missed the warmth of his laughter, the kindness in his eyes. Desperate to bring back the brother she knew, she decided to seek the wisdom of the old healer who lived on the outskirts of their village. A man whose knowledge was as deep as the Great Rift Valley. She found the healer, sitting under a vast acacia tree, his face a map of wrinkles that told 1,000 stories. Zara poured out her troubles, her voice trembling as she described her brother's anger and her own helplessness. The healer listened patiently, his gaze calm and thoughtful. When she finished, he didn't offer a simple potion or a quick chant. Instead, he gave her a task that seemed impossible. "To heal your brother," he said, his voice as soft as a whisper, "you must bring me a single feather from the mane of a wild lion." Zara was stunned. A feather from a live, wild lion, the king of the beasts, whose roar could shake the very ground. It was a task for a great warrior, not a young girl. Fear coiled in her stomach. How could she possibly approach such a creature? But the healer's eyes held no trickery, only a quiet certainty. Her love for her brother was stronger than her fear. If this was the only way, she would find the courage to try. Taking a deep breath, Zara thanked the healer, bowed her head, and began her journey into the wilderness, her heart pounding with a mix of terror and determination. She walked for days, her senses on high alert, until she finally found the lion's territory. From a safe distance, hidden behind a cluster of rocks, she saw him. He was magnificent and terrifying, his muscles rippling under his golden coat as he rested in the shade. His mane was a glorious sunburst of dark feathers, exactly as the healer had described. For the first day, she did nothing but watch, learning his habits, the rhythm of his breathing as he slept, the way he patrolled his land at dusk. The next day, she crept a little closer, just to the edge of the clearing. She brought a small piece of dried meat, leaving it on a flat rock before retreating back to her hiding spot. The lion, cautious at first, eventually approached the offering, sniffed it, and devoured it in a single gulp. Zara did this again the next day, and the day after that. Each time, she moved a little closer, her movements slow and deliberate, her presence becoming a familiar part of the lion's daily routine. She would hum a soft, low-tune melody her mother used to sing, letting the sound drift on the breeze, a gentle announcement of her peaceful intentions. Weeks turned into a month. Zara no longer hid. She would sit openly at the edge of the clearing. The lion grew accustomed to her quiet company. He would watch her with his intelligent, amber eyes, no longer seeing a threat, but a strange, gentle creature who brought him food and filled the air with soothing sounds. One afternoon, as the sun warmed the earth, the lion lay down to rest, closer to her than ever before. Its great head was on his paws, his tail giving a slow, lazy flick. Zara's heart was a drum in her chest, but she knew this was her moment. Slowly, inch by painstaking inch, she crawled toward him. She didn't look him in the eye, remembering that this could be seen as a challenge. Instead, she kept her gaze soft and low. War. When she was finally beside him, she could feel the warmth radiating from his body and hear the deep, rumbling purr in his chest. Her hand trembled as she reached out, her fingers barely daring to touch the coarse, beautiful feathers of his mane. The lion's ear twitched, but he did not move. With a feather-light touch, she gently plucked a single, perfect plume. The lean merely sighed, a great puff of warm air, and settled deeper into his slumber. Clutching the feather as if it were the most precious jewel in the world, Zara backed away just as slowly as she had approached. Her heart soared with a feeling she couldn't name, a mix of triumph, relief, and a profound understanding. Fee ran all the way back to the village, her feet barely touching the ground, and presented the lion's feather to the old healer. The healer took the feather and examined it. Then he looked at Zara, and a wide, knowing smile spread across his face. He didn't keep the feather. Instead, he handed it back to her. "You no longer need this," he said gently. "Zara, think about how you earned it. You did not conquer the lion with force. You approached him with quietness. You earned his trust with daily acts of kindness, and you won him over with infinite patience." A wave of realization washed over Zara. The healer's words lit up her mind like a bolt of lightning. The lion, the fiercest of all creatures, had been soothed, not by power, but by patience and gentleness. The healer smiled again. "Go home now, my child," he said. "Yet you have learned the secret. You now know how to heal your brother." Zara understood. She went home, not with a magical feather, but with a heart full of patience, ready to tame the storm within her own family, one gentle day at a time.